Welcome back to Business Boone, a product of the Boone County Chamber and hosted by Deep End Talent Strategies. I'm Shauna Lake.
And I'm Lauren Byram. And today we are joined by Julie Reagan, the CEO from the Community Foundation. Welcome and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so one thing we like to ask all of our guests before we dive in is if your movie was a title, if your life had a title of a movie, what would it be?
Okay. So I've thought about this.
Okay.
So I think I have a little bit of personal. I have two boys that are very important to me that go to Lebanon High School, my husband, my dog. Everything in my life really comes back to the values and what's important to you and to your core. That's always just been instilled in me. And so I think my title of my life would be True North.
Oh.
Yeah, because I really, really feel like I have learned throughout the years of life that if you just really remain focused in on your values and what is important to you and what you believe is the best thing, then it's going to get all crazy, but then you'll always keep moving onward and upward. So I think I might even get that as a tattoo, honestly, because it's so important, right?
Sure.
And so I think that's what the movie would be called.
I love that. Always having your guiding light.
I feel like this might be the first time the podcast has inspired a tattoo.
Well, I'll come back if I get it and show you guys. But that's really important to me and everything that I do. So
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You mentioned briefly your family.
Yes.
I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about you and your background.
Yeah.
And then also tell our listeners more about the Community Foundation in Boone County.
Okay. So I am originally from Delphi. So up north a little bit. Went to Purdue. So Boilermakers. IU's having a really great season this year, but Boiler at heart here. My husband actually went to Western Boone, so we met, and then we've lived here for about 17 or 18 years now. Live in Lebanon. We have two boys, like I said. They're 16 and 18. They go to Lebanon High School, sophomore and a senior. Cutest little dog. Her name's Olive. So we really, really love Lebanon. We love the community. When I'm not working, I continue to learn that I'm just an old soul. So my personal hobbies tend to be those like hands-on old school activities like sewing or gardening, just different things like that are just really really relaxing and rejuvenating to me. So that's a little bit about our family. In terms of the foundation, so I have been at the Community Foundation for 8-ish years. I was just trying to think earlier how long exactly, but I've started in different roles. So started in marketing and communications, and then you know how it goes. After a couple of years, then you take on grant making, and then you write, and the next thing you know, you're here. So I have been the CEO for a little over 2 years now at the Community Foundation of Boone County, and it's been a really, really exciting journey for sure. So overall, the Community Foundation, so we were started in 1991 with $10,000 from a group of residents in Zionsville, and then some money from the Lee Endowment. So we've grown that $10,000 to right around $40 million is where we sit right now. So that's really exciting. And then the main focus of who we are and everything that we do at the Community Foundation is to help our community.
Sure.
Whatever that looks like, no matter what you believe, if you're red or you're blue or you're this or you're that, we don't care. We just want to make our community better, and we want everybody to have access to everything. And so we do that through a lot of different ways. So we work with a lot of nonprofits. We work with our schools. We work with government officials. We work with the chamber. We work with the EDC, right? A ton of partners just to be able to figure out what's the best way that we can be collaborating to help our community. So we help in that strategic planning, innovative space, but then also help with money. Right, so we do award out grants and scholarships each year. So it averages about $1.3 million is what we awarded the past couple of years each year. They either go to nonprofit organizations that are serving the community to just really dive into some of those needs. Sometimes they're surface level needs, like a sack lunch program for kids who don't have food. Right? And then sometimes it's getting more into those generational cycles and how can we be figuring out, how to improve different educational levels or different opportunities so that then the same families aren't in the same cycle where their kids need to have sack lunches, right? So we award grants and then scholarships. So we love awarding scholarships out to our youth. Everything from trades to medical school to bachelor's degrees. I mean, whatever it is, we've got a little bit of everything there. So that's a very, very high level
Yeah.
of who we are and what we do.
I've seen and also heard a lot of what the Community Foundation and you have done. So thank you for all the work that you do in the county. It's pretty
blessed.
Amazing.
It is pretty amazing, and almost every day somebody on our team's like, this is really our job.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we get to do. But it's so amazing because we have so many wonderful community partners throughout our county who recognize that and who just want to help and want to just help others. So,
Yeah. I think changing the lives of others is pretty special.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
So what is the traditional role of a community foundation as it relates to businesses in the community?
So we have, again, like I said, our community, we're just so blessed to have so many wonderful people here, including our businesses. And so we are here as a partner to work with businesses in different ways. So sometimes there are businesses who are trying to figure out what they want to help, but maybe they aren't sure what that looks like or how to help. And so sometimes it's me sitting with them and just kind of diving into, well, what are you passionate about? What are your employees passionate about? What are your values? What's your strategic plan? And then how can we use the knowledge that we have to be able to connect them? Maybe, for example, with a nonprofit, if food insecurity is something they're passionate about. Well, then here are some people who are working in that space, and then we connect them, right? And then see how that goes.
Yeah.
So that is a big part of what we are here for. We're also here just to help connect businesses with any part of philanthropy. Building a culture of philanthropy within organizations is super important. Not just in nonprofits, right? It's also retention of employees and attraction of employees. And so for businesses to be able to share, here's what we're doing to help the community that we exist in, that's pretty awesome. And so we're just here to be a partner in whatever capacity that looks like. There are also obviously sponsorship opportunities for events. We are a nonprofit too ourselves, right? So we do have some businesses who pour into us financially because they recognize that they want to be able to say that, hey, we're a partner and we're linked arms with Community Foundation. So there's a lot of different ways, but I would say that the most prevalent is us being able to meet with them and connect them in whatever their goal is. And if they don't know, we help them figure out what that looks like. So
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah. For the Community Foundation, what are some of your greatest challenges or biggest opportunities?
Yeah, so I would say right now, it's both, right? Like it's with the growth that we have going on in our community and in our county right now, it presents opportunities and it presents challenges. And the Community Foundation, our main goal right now, like I said, is just making sure that everybody has access to everything. And so we don't want residents to be left behind or to be overlooked with the growth. We want to make sure that small nonprofits who need more support, they need more strategic planning support. We want to make sure they're long-term sustainable, right? And so we want to make sure that they are not forgotten or lost in the weeds as well as we're growing, and there's more businesses, there's more nonprofits, there's more everything coming in. So we are trying to find that balance of how we can come alongside existing partners, existing residents to make sure that they have access to everything, but then also want to work with the new residents coming in to make sure that they feel like this is their home and that they feel connected. So I'd say right now we're just trying to figure out what that looks like. And again, another opportunity that comes with that is, again, going back to that, building that culture of philanthropy and really just trying to get everybody thinking about being a culture of philanthropy, no matter what sector you're in, even the schools, the church, like everybody, right? And so that's a really cool opportunity right now because we are having new relationships that we haven't had before. So the more we can just have those conversations like this and it gets out there, we're excited to see where that goes. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah.
How do you measure success of your work, and both in terms of impact on the community and also engagement with the donors and the business partners?
That's a really big question, right?
Yeah.
So
in depth.
I would say that we really measure impact in two different ways. So numbers, data is always going to be important, right? So how many grants have we awarded? How many students have we received money to? How many colleges have we, right? Like how much money overall have we raised? So the numbers are good for us to be able to show growth. They are good for us to be able to demonstrate to businesses, here's the impact, right? Like here's what your dollars can do. But it's not just numbers, right? So it's also the actual impact that is helping us with sustainability of things, right? So like I said, with the breaking generational cycles. So numbers aren't going to necessarily tell a story, but if we know that a nonprofit organization, going back to the SAC lunch program, if they have the same students coming back year after year who need free lunches over the summer, then we know that there's more work that we can be done to break some of those generational cycles so that families no longer are having to have their children still do that, right? Yeah. And so that's way more complicated to measure, but breaking generational cycles and how is the impact of the dollars we are granting out from our donors, how is that starting to evolve, right? And then once we find something that's working, then how can we make sure it's sustainable? So I would say it's a combination of both. I mean, and that goes back to the businesses as well. When we're working with businesses want to be able to see how is our money helping the community, right? And so we find that it's a mixture of both, that we want to be able to provide some data, but then also some more of those personal, emotional stories where they can really take that back to their employees or share that with their staff and say, here's what we're doing to help.
When those business leaders don't have those stories yet to take back, or you mentioned that you want them to understand how important philanthropy is. Yeah. If a business leader wants to get started to instill that sense of philanthropy in their team or their workforce, but they're not sure how to get started, what advice would you have for them?
Call me. No, but I mean, really, I've had this conversation multiple times, and some have just decided to go back, and depending on their team size, right? Some of those smaller ones they've brought in a consultant or somebody, and they've led them through a planning process of diving into what's our values. So us as a company, what do we value, right? And or as employees, what would you like to see us supporting? So starting somewhere, your employees are super important, and retention is super important. And so if there's a way that you can tie in your goals of philanthropy directly back to the goals of your employees, then they are going to directly feel invested in the difference that the company's making versus if the company just, right? And so that's been really powerful and really neat to see. So I would say start there. But if you don't even know how to start there, honestly, that's what we are here for as the Community Foundation, is to be able to come in. I've gone in and I've talked at some staff meetings before just to start sharing, opening the door. Maybe there's never been a talk of philanthropy or giving back in the community, and so I can open the doors for that. But then ultimately the goal would be for them to be able to identify at least one thing, even if it's small, right? No matter how small, still taking that step forward, right? That true north, right? I'm going to start saying that a lot now, but once you identify that, then just focusing in on that, and then just every small step is going to make a difference. Employees will start to see that, and that's better than just, because I've done it too, right? I don't know what this looks like. It's too big of a process, so just don't do it. And it's better just to at least do something. And then lean on partners and lean on experts who can come in and help.
So we've talked a lot about businesses and how businesses can get involved, but how could individuals, or what's some advice that you could give individuals on how they could get involved and help out in the community, and what advice would you have for them?
So there's a lot of different ways, but it can also be overwhelming, right? I mean, even before I worked at the Community Foundation, like I said, I've lived here for a long time, and when you're not in the world, you're just not aware of all of the opportunities. And so I would just encourage people to get online. If nothing else, you could look at our website, you could look at our social media. We highlight different grantees on there. So with the purpose of educating the community about the grantees and what they're doing and the impact of the grant. So you can learn information. You can we have different events, different programs. So ladies in Boone County, we'd love to have them join Women of Impact. Boone County, it's a wonderful program. The ladies get together 4 times a year. They learn about different nonprofits, pitch in their money, and then we award out grants. And so last quarter, we exceeded the $400,000 mark in 8 years. So it's super exciting. I could never give away a $15,000 grant 4 times a year personally, but $500 a year is manageable for me. And so then I put that with everybody else's, right? And it becomes that. So we have different things like that people can get involved in to learn more. We also have Hope Coons, who's our Director of Community Engagement. And so what she has done, we've also had residents say exactly this: I want to help, but I don't know where to start. And so she's a great person to get to talk to. We have different committees, but we also have all of the nonprofits. And so we find ourselves being an advocate. We say an advocate for the people who aren't in the room. And so because our job is to have an awareness of the needs and awareness also of the things that are going exceptionally well. And so if we hear of somebody who's struggling, well, hey, they're doing it well, so we should connect you guys so you can talk, right? So it's that aspect, but then it's also, hey, I'm a resident and my family wants to volunteer and we like animals, right? Then we can connect them with organizations like the Humane Society and others who are doing that. So I'd say just reach out, look online on our website. We do have a list of a lot of the nonprofits in our community, so people can always look on there as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Terrific advice.
Yeah.
I'll make an extra plug for Women of Impact. I've been a member now for, I think, 5 years, and it is my absolute favorite thing that I do during the year.
It is fabulous, isn't it?
Yes.
And we are very efficient with our time because we are all extremely busy. And so the meetings, like 5:30 to 6 is networking. We start at 6. We literally draw out 3 names from a bingo. And then if the nonprofit's name is called, they come up and they give a pitch. No visuals, just here's who we are, here's what we do, and here's our need. The members hear from 3 nonprofits, they vote. And then we announce the grantee and the grant all within an hour, and we're out by 7. So it's efficient.
Yeah.
We all have things to do and places to be. So we want to respect everybody's time, but it is wonderful for sure. Yeah.
And now the nonprofit leaves that night with the check for unrestricted dollars.
Yeah.
So if you like immediate gratification, that's also your thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It is really, really great. So
it is, yes. This has been a great conversation, Julie. Thank you. We always like to wrap up with asking our guests, what's one thing that you know now but you wish you knew earlier in your career?
So I would say, and this is very fresh for me, I would say within the past year, I've really leaned into this more, that overworking does not demonstrate success. Right?
Yeah.
So
it's like working smarter versus working harder.
I feel like, and I've been fortunate with a very wonderful career that I've had wonderful mentors and just different areas that I've worked within. But for the longest time, I thought it was, I don't know why, but I felt like it was, well, if I want to be successful, I need to be putting in these extra hours. I need to get everything done. I need to do this and this and this. But then that just causes burnout, and burnout does not cause success for yourself personally, for your team, for the people you are helping. And so this past year, I've really leaned into, you have to protect your time, you have to protect your space, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And that sounds cliche, but it is true. And so that's what I wish I would have known when I was younger.
Good advice.
It really
And I
is.
still have to remind myself that, like earlier today, I just said that. Yeah.
Could you send me an email?
It's really hard, but I think when you try to intentionally remember that, it slowly, just like I said earlier, like one step forward in that will help. And so I wish
No, that's very good
That's
advice.
nice.
Yeah. So if our listeners wanted to get in touch with you,
Yeah.
how could they do that?
So you can find me anywhere. So our website is communityfoundationbc.org. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. My phone number is everywhere, email address, all on the website. Our office is, I should have said this, located in Lebanon. So we are across the street from the courthouse, up above Huntington Bank on that corner. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's where we are.
Thank you for being with us. This has been a great conversation,
Absolutely.
Julie.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
This has
thank
been
you.
wonderful.
Yes, thank you. And we will be back with more insightful conversations. Until next time, keep growing and leading with purpose.